What's the main difference between this and the live action?
Well, we were able to stylize things more. We were able to push the visual look of things. You see it most notably in the human characters' faces, their proportions, but also there's more of a painterly aesthetic. We didn't have to live by photorealistic rules, and I think that really helped us. I think that, that's where it had been going for a long time, but I think that a lot of the artists that work in there, I mean, look at ILM, they have perfected that when you see some of the work they've done on Pirates and even the prequel trilogy. Now I think you're seeing a bunch of artists saying, let's just use this tool, this digital paintbrush in a different way. Let's forget photorealism, throw that out and do exaggerations and screw with proportions and make it look like a moving painting. And I think that that's the frontier of digital technology now is beyond photorealism. That was one of the hard things because George said, just make it great, make it something I haven't seen before. So how do you make something no one's seen before? Well, my frame of reference was the previous micro series from Cartoon Network, which was very graphic and dynamic, and I like the shapes that they use. But I thought I didn't want to go quite that far with this, because once it's in 3D, there is some feeling that there's more realism attached to it, like I said. And so the live-action photorealistic movies were the other end of it. And I wanted to kind of hit in the middle with our Clone Wars. And to tie it into the tradition of Star Wars, I took the Ralph McQuarrie paintings. If you look at the concept paintings for how George sold the 1977 A New Hope, Ralph McQuarrie, this illustrator artist, did a whole bunch of paintings. So I wanted the environments to kind of reflect those classic looking paintings. That saves the whole thing, especially in the beginning, when we are working, everything we have to build, whether it's a lightsaber or whether it's like a giant Jedi cruiser. So yeah, having battle droids and clones that are all repetitious helps, but one of the challenges is to make those clones feel more individual than they actually are. That they have different hairstyles and different attitudes and helmets and looks, but yeah, it definitely helped a lot. Actually, our system is more like that than you'd think. We do work on a take basis for our show because we have digital sets now. We started out with storyboarding and sketching a lot, and I'll still do that for frames of reference for certain shots. But we have a digital stage, and I have little digital actors in it that we block in like an actor would block in all their movements, and we literally can shoot takes and coverage of that. So most of the work on putting the story together happens in editorial, and that's how we get our coverage, or I need another take and we'll reframe it in the Avid. So George has really taught us a system of treating this animated process a lot more like live action. It's a Star Wars film in that what I mean is it's for everyone. Star Wars, I think, relates the world over, obviously, and it relates to young and old people. So I think that you are right, animation often gets kind of put into this box, so it's something for kids, but that's been changing. You look at the audiences this summer with WALL-E and Kung Fu Panda, both very large successes. I think people are going to the theater more just to see a good story, and I think the name Star Wars carries with it a tradition of high quality and exciting adventure, and they can expect both those things in Clone Wars. The battle scenes will go a long way to satisfying the kids' needs for intensity and action, but I think the Star Wars story just is such a great universe that it's all played out in, and that you always wonder what you're going to see next. And a lot of other animations and films actually take their inspiration from Star Wars. So rather than see something that's playing off Star Wars, how many times you go see a movie and oh, it's the new Star Wars, it's the next Star Wars. Well, this actually is Star Wars. So I think that fans and kids and adults go knowing that. Yeah, I think it helps to have someone that we don't know what happens to them, because that kind of brings back the tension in a big way. And I think it helps, kids relate to a student. They're students, they're learning all the time, and so is this character. So it satisfies their need to say, I'm like that. I remember thinking, when you're young, you think, oh, I'm like Luke. I don't know what I'm doing, and my older brother was like Han to me, and you see those relationships play out, even on that kind of subconscious level. So I think that Ahsoka, is going to identify with both boys and girls, actually, because she's tough. She's not a shrinking violet. She mixes it up with the big boys, Anakin and Obi-Wan, so it's fun. Well, it's funny, you always want to create new characters, but then you go out there and talk to the fans. I really hope Yoda's in this. I really want to see Yoda, or I want to see General Grievous. I mean, they have characters that they like to catch up on. They want to know what Yoda's up to, so have to have them be involved. But when you involve them, you have to be very careful how you portray them. And that's why we're lucky George is involved, because I always know that our portrayal of Yoda or Padme is exactly what he wants it to be, because he'll tell me if it's not, that's for sure. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, Rob Coleman, actually, who was the animation director on the prequels, gave me a great piece of advice, which was, make George happy. If he's happy with this, then it's going to work. And so that, of course, was my main focus, is making a Star Wars that George Lucas was proud of. Obviously, proud enough to want to put it up on the big screen, and we're all thrilled about that. But hey, fans are passionate, and whether they say for good or for ill about anything, any aspect of it, it's because they love it. They want it to be good. They want they feel an ownership over Star Wars at this point, and I respect that. I mean, in both directions. I respect the good things I've heard, and I respect when fans says, why is it animated? Okay, I get it, but give it a chance and check it out, and I think they'll be surprised, because I'm a fan and I like it. For me, it's easy because, well, I'm an animator, so it's a good break for me. But I think that George wanted to go in this new direction. He wanted to do a weekly TV series that was animated, and he was like, wow, I like it enough, I want to make it a movie. And it gave us a chance to stylize things beyond just their, again, photorealistic beginning, in not just the characters and the look of it, but in the type of angles and storytelling we could go. It freed us up to imagine it in a whole new way, which, I think a lot of people wanted from Star Wars too. A lot of people don't just want more Star Wars. If we're going to do more Star Wars, we have to do it in a way that's going to be exciting and powerful.